when you go back to school tomorrow, you can let her know that I said you ain't got to write them sentences. So I didn't write those sentences. So I go back to school the next day. It's time to go to lunch. And she, in front of the whole class, wants to know, where's your sentences? And I boldly tell her, I didn't write the sentences. My mama told me, Mommy and Kevin Hart, my mama told me to tell you, but my mama told me to tell you, I don't have to write them sentences. That was my opinion. That's what I thought. And I don't have to write those sentences. And so she commences to berating me in front of the class, from my memory, of let me know that I thought you would just shut up and write the sentences. And I don't remember anything else that she really said other than I was embarrassed in front of this whole class that she's speaking to me like this. Told me I thought you would just shut up and write these sentences. And I am trying to hold back the tears. Welcome to Becoming with Angelina Watkins, where we are turning dreamers into believers and doers, sharing open and transparent stories of the lives of those who have overcome adversity, have reached a level of success in their life, and they're living a fulfilled life on their terms. Candid conversations with men and women from all walks of life, giving us a fresh perspective in the blueprint on how to win at love, life, and money. And this episode, I'm going to talk about being silenced, just wanting to express yourself. And so I want to start out with a song by Salt and Pepper. Yes, I grew up on Salt and Pepper. And they had a song called Express Yourself. And in that song, they say, express yourself. You got to be you and only you. Express yourself and let me be me. I would sing it for you all, but I am not a singer. It'd be entertaining. Y'all might laugh if I try to sing these lyrics, but I'll spare you. Maybe one day I'll get the nerves to show my vocals, but in this episode, I'm not going to do that. But express yourself and let me be me. That's all I've ever wanted to do. I didn't want to be anybody else. I just wanted to be me. I wanted to be able to express myself because I got thoughts, I got feelings. I can think, right? I got stuff going on in my head, but I'm not being allowed to express myself. And so I want to talk about how our past shapes our mindset and our behaviors. And in your healing process, you have to go back. You got to go back to your past to figure out, why do I do what I do? Why do I act the way I act? Why do I respond the way I respond? Why do I think the way I think? Because something has happened in your past that has shaped and molded your mindset and your behavior. And we unconsciously begin to act in ways that we don't even know why we act that way. And so we have to go and we have to reflect on our past. And some of us don't want to do that because thinking about the past is hurtful. But if you really want to heal, you're going to have to address it. You're going to have to deal. You're going to have to face it so that you can eradicate it, so that you can remove that thing in your mind, in your subconscious mind, that's causing you to act and behave and think the way you think, if you want to live a better life and become a better you and walk in all of the abundant life that God has for you. So we have our family dynamics that shapes us, our upbringing and how we were raised, our church, our community in which we lived in, our educational system, society. It all plays a part in us becoming this person that we're not supposed to be. And so I want to talk just a little bit because these things are designed to shape and mold us into who they want us to be and how they want us to think. And it's designed to sometimes stifle our voice and take it away. And they just want us to conform to their way. And come on, families, we do it. Our parents, they raise us the way they want to raise us. They teach us what they want us to teach us. They tell us how to act and what to do because they're trying to shape and mold us into who they believe they want us to become. Then you have church. Church is designed to teach you how to be. And we think, oh, you go to church, they're going to teach you how to become who God wants you to be. But all churches don't do that. And the Bible is structured to set us free. It's structured to allow us to be who He created us to be, to live in peace and to be free and to be ourselves. But the teachers, those who are teaching us the word, don't always deliver it in a manner that it was structured to be. They deliver it in a manner to use it against us, to do for us to do what they want us to do. And then you have the educational system. The educational system is probably one of the biggest systems of manufacturing robots, to teaching us how to conform to what they want us to be and do once we get out of school, so that we can be followers and workers for others. And in school, the way the educational system is structured, they just pump us with info, pump us with info, pump us with info, and they don't actually give us any hands-on experience. Because why? It doesn't teach us how to think for ourselves. It don't teach us, give us any hands-on experience on how to make decisions for ourselves. It's what they want us to know, and they condition us to just soak it in but not apply it. And then we wonder why there's so many people out there who don't take the leap. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to apply it. They don't even give it a try because they don't know how. They've never been taught. We have school who teach us to soak up info, soak up info. It's all about the knowledge and all about the knowledge. Because they even say, what is it? Knowledge is power. But it was something I heard someone say that was so powerful to me, is applied knowledge is power. Just having the knowledge doesn't give you power. It's applying the knowledge that you have that gives you the power. And so in school, they're conditioned to give us the knowledge. And when you have the knowledge, you're powerful. But they never teach you how to apply it. But then you have me. And I don't have a voice. For years, I don't say what I want to say. I don't express what I want to express. And it all goes back to my fondest memory of, when did this all start? When did I feel like I couldn't say what I wanted to say? When did it start with me not being able to speak and say the things that I felt? And I know there's many of us out there that does not use our voice. We don't express ourselves. We don't tell people how we're feeling. We don't offer our opinions. We just keep silent. When we have some good things to say and share, we just keep silent. And so what happens is, I just want to say, for those of you who do not use your voice, some of you don't use your voice because we are afraid of what other people are going to say or think about what we said. And so when you don't express yourself because you're more concerned about, if I say this, then they'll do this, or they'll respond this way, or they'll think this way, you are being, what I say, controlling. You're being emotionally controlling, because now you're trying to control how people think, how people respond, how people react and behave. And you can't control what people think and how they respond. You can only control yourself and how you think and respond. And so what you're doing is, you've been stifled. You don't use your voice. But now you not using your voice, you're using that now to control other people. So the cycle just continues. Someone's controlling you. Now you're controlling someone else emotionally, trying to control how they feel and what they think and how they respond. And so we've got to kind of get out of that. But for me, it started in the 6th grade. It was about the 6th grade. I was going to Lincoln Fundamental Elementary School. And we had this teacher. She would read to us, and we would go to the library and watch these videos. And I remember we had to go to the library one day, and we had to watch a video on dog sledding. And it was dog sledding in Alaska. And the next day, we're going to go to lunch. And she asks us, how did you all enjoy the dog sledding video we watched in the library yesterday? I'm probably pretty sure that's not exactly her words, but she asked us, what do we think? And Angelina says it was boring. And the teacher gets upset. Who said that? She want to know who said that. And of course, the whole class snitches on me. Angelina said it. Probably wasn't the whole class, but it was enough of them who wanted to let her know that I was the one who said it. And she was very, very upset with me that I thought this video that she loved and enjoyed and thought was so great for us to watch was boring. And so she was upset that I didn't agree with her. She was upset that I expressed how I really felt. And she punished me for that. I think I was maybe about 11 years old at this time. She punishes me for that. And she makes me write 10 sentences using the word boring. So I go home that night in particular. We're over my aunt's house. We're the family get together for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm trying to write these sentences and I'm asking my older cousins and my sisters, can y'all help me? Can y'all give me some sentences using the word boring? I got to write 10 sentences using the word boring. And so at some point, my mom wants to know, why do you have to write 10 sentences for that one word? Because usually you have vocabulary words and you would write, if you wrote sentences for the vocabulary words, well, it would be 10 different words or 20 different words, however many vocabulary words, but this is just one word, boring. And so I tell her, like, we had this thing. I told the teacher I didn't like it. I thought it was boring. And she told me that I had to write these sentences. And in that moment, my mom tells me to stop and that I did not have to write those sentences because she asked for my opinion and I gave my opinion. And when you go back to school tomorrow, you can let her know that I said, you ain't got to write them sentences. So I didn't write those sentences. So I go back to school the next day. It's time to go to lunch. And she, in front of the whole class, wants to know, where's your sentences? And I boldly tell her, I didn't write the sentences. My mama told me, Mommy and Kevin Hart, my mama told me to tell you, but my mama told me to tell you, I don't have to write them sentences. That was my opinion. That's what I thought. And I don't have to write those sentences. And so she commences to berating me in front of the class, from my memory, of let me know that I thought you would just shut up and write the sentences. And I don't remember anything else that she really said other than I was embarrassed in front of this whole class that she's speaking to me like this. Told me I thought you would just shut up and write these sentences. And I am trying to hold back the tears, but I remember crying at lunch. And the people in my class showed me some sympathy. They felt bad for me, even wanted to share their lunches with me because I'm crying because I am embarrassed at the way this lady is treating me, at the way this lady is talking to me. And so that is the beginning of my memory of being silenced, not wanting to express yourself because of how someone else is going to react and what they're going to say. And I'm 11 years old, so at this point, I'm really embarrassed, and I don't want to do or say anything else that's going to cause me to be embarrassed in front of my peers in school. And so I remember, I got to tell you all this part before I move on. I go home. I tell my parents. I don't know if I told my mom or just my pop, but I know I had a conversation with my pop about what happened in school, and he was upset. Okay, and so his thing was, I'm going up to that school, and I'm going to embarrass that teacher in front of the class just like she embarrassed you. I'm going to let her have it. And I begged him not to go. Now, looking back, hindsight, I should have let him go. I should have let him go up to the school and do whatever he was going to do and say whatever he was going to say. But again, here I am. I don't want to be embarrassed for a second time, having my father come up there. I don't know what he's going to do and what he's going to say. And he's a pretty strong-minded, authoritative type of person. So I was just kind of afraid of what would happen. I just didn't want that to happen. So I begged him, please, Pop, please don't go. And so his thing to me was, eventually, because he was insistent on going, but eventually he tells me that he won't go this time, But if this happens again, I'm going up there. So I agreed. I'm like, okay. So that's the start of my first memory of being stifled, not being able to have my own opinion and my own thoughts in fear of what someone else is going to say or do, or how they're going to react, or how they might embarrass me in front of other people when I speak. And so for a long time, I just really don't speak. I don't speak up, and I don't say what I'm thinking, and I'm not saying what I'm feeling. And it's all because I'm afraid. I'm fearful at this point. This lady just kind of really put a fear in me of worrying about what other people say and think. Now, that's just the start. You have family, you have church, who also does things and says things to condition your mind, and they will contribute to me not having a voice, me being controlled and not being able to do what I do. And so we'll get into that in another episode of as I continue to take you through my childhood so that you can learn about this. But I want to take this story to my future because, again, the things that happen to you in your past impact how you behave today. And then you wonder why you do what you do. And so I just want to show you how your past truly is showing up today. And so I want to take you and tell you about a story about my daughter and how I had to do the same thing for her that my father wanted to do for me. But I didn't give my daughter a choice. I just took it into my own hands that I'm going to speak up for her. I'm going to take up for her. You're not going to talk to my child the way you're talking to her. And where did I get that from, that I have to step in and use my voice because she doesn't have a voice, and it comes from my parents. And so it was a situation where, we're in this pandemic, kids, the schools are shut down, kids are doing distance learning. And so my daughter was a straight A student, really good student, and all of a sudden we're not doing well in school. Forgive me, she'll probably get mad I'm telling this, but she's not doing well in school, particularly English. And she's good at English, but she's not turning in her assignments like she should. She's not doing her homework like she should. She's not doing the beginning of class reflections. I don't know what's going on, but she's just not participating in this English class. And the teacher, the way the system is set up, that when you turn in your homework, the teacher can give comments. And so I'm reading these comments that he's putting in this system to her, and they were pretty nasty, if you ask me. Like, why would you think that you should talk to a child like that, and let alone talk to my child like that? Like, I ain't going for that. And so I had to sent him an email. I put put the principal on there, the superintendent on there, because that's what I learned from my pop, that if you're going to send an email, that you're going to carbon copy some people and put everybody in the know of what's going on and what you got to say. And so I had to let him know, like, he was so hell bent on it's going to be my way, and not really learning how to understand where these students are and their perspective, and being empathetic to the things that they're going through and working some things out with them. Whereas you have all of these other teachers who are. And so my thing was, you got all these other teachers that are letting them turn their work in late. But this particular teacher is like, nope, you can't turn in late. If you turn in late, then I'm taking off. You're automatically losing so many points. And, you only got a couple of days, and then it's over with. You can't turn it in all. And my thing is, you got a school system where you guys are confusing these kids. How do you have 6 teachers who say you could turn your work in late, and 1 teacher who says that you don't? Who you think they're going to listen to? They're going to listen to the teachers who say, oh, well, we can turn it in late. But then you want to be a stickler, not understanding the situations and the mental and emotional things these children are going through. And I had to point this out to him. Listen, we're in a pandemic. People are dying. My daughter alone had lost 6 people that year. She had lost her two grandmothers, her grandfather, two grandfathers, an auntie, and a pastor. And we think as adults that we're the only ones going through something. They're going through something too. And so my thing to him was, you got to look at what these children are going through. Not only are they losing loved ones, but they don't have their friends anymore. They don't have no interactions with their friends. They can't go anywhere with their friends. They can't go spend a night over their friend's house. Like, they are isolated. And you got to think about what this is doing to them mentally and emotionally. I says, and show some empathy for what they may be going through. Just like you're going through something, they're going through something. And instead of being so stickler and being so hard and harsh in speaking to them the way you speak to them, I'm gonna need you to soften this thing up. And those weren't my exact words, but that's basically what I'm letting you know. You're gonna have to be a little bit more sensitive as to where they are. And so he did. He loosened up. He began to work with the kids. And so I'm glad I spoke up and I used my voice, because my daughter was not using hers and expressing how she feels and what she may have been going through. But I just kind of wanted to show you how we learn. Some things we learn are good. You know, your parents speaking up for you, your parents taking up for you, your parents stepping in and advocating for you. That's the way it should be. And even though my pop didn't go because I begged him not to, that was a good sign of, you got to step in for your children. You can't leave them hanging out there all by themselves, trying to fight these battles on their own that they have no idea how to fight. Now, we'll talk about family dynamics and all of that stuff later, because they still contribute to me not having a voice, even though they're speaking up for me and telling me I don't have to do this, that, and the third. You know, there's still times where your family stifles who you are, and it being able to express yourself and trying to control the outcome of your life. And so again, we'll get into that. But I just want to tell you all in my closing that you have to learn to use your voice. You have to learn to express yourself and speak up for yourself and take up for yourself. Stop trying to control the outcome of how someone else is going to respond, or what they're going to feel, or what they're going to think based upon what you say. Because you stifling your voice and not speaking up for yourself, it's only hurting you in the long run, because you are allowing people to overstep boundaries and do things to you and say things to you and hurt you in ways that it doesn't have to be that way if you would just learn to use your voice. You have a voice. God has given us a voice. God has given us freedom. He has given us peace. You just got to learn to embrace it and stop worrying about what other people have to think and say. Now, where you are is not where you have to be. Your past does not define you. You define you. So I want you to heal, transform, and pursue you.